The funny thing about your memory is that it's designed to protect you by allowing you to forget a harmful past. With this in mind, it's very difficult for me to remember bad movies. See, a couple nights ago, I watched 3 movies. Now, I remember 2 of them, but the first one I watched, I spent the next day trying to figure out what movie it was, and then I came across it again. On Amazon Prime Video, I watched Escape Plan 2, Hades, and frankly, I regret every minute of it. This is an unusual straight-to-video sequel to a box office bomb of sorts, which was also a disappointing movie in of itself. But front and center on the advertisement, or at least the little square it gets on Amazon Prime Video, you have Sylvester Stallone, and this time Dave Bautista instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you're thinking, okay, how much are they really in this movie? Oh, they're in the movie, just not a whole lot together, and they're certainly not the central figures. So, this doesn't really quite pick up where Escape Plan left off. Instead, we have this little scenario where we have some younger guys working some kind of escape. There's a couple of gals who are captured abroad, and one of the guys who seems to be one of the enemies is actually in on the springing of them. And we also see some familiar faces here and there. We have Jesse Metcalf, a.k.a. John Tucker Must Die. You know, if he's showing up in something, it's probably not good. What's his hit rate? Pretty damn low, right? I don't really recognize the other people. There's an Asian guy whom I'm just going to call Asian, even though there's multiple Asians in this movie. And they're escaping with a chick and some other chick, and I guess one of them gets shot in the escape. But the white guy, well, okay, is Metcalf white? We're going to say he isn't. Anyway, the whitest guy, he's like, oh, well, my algorithm said we had a some percent chance of escaping. Well, they work for Stallone. I forgot his character's name. I was thinking Barney Ross, but that's Expendables. They work for him at his firm, you know, because Vincent D'Onofrio is gone now. And they're in the, I don't know, is this a side venture of the Test the Prisons? It's also will extract your loved ones if they get caught tearing down a poster in South Korea. North Korea, like it matters. Is that what they do now? Well, whitest guy gets fired. Asian, who can barely speak English, is the central character here. I think he has some martial arts background. It appears to be evident by what he's tasked to do throughout this movie. Well, he goes on vacation. And while he's abroad, he meets up with his cousin, who has some tech firm, and he's reciting his Tim Cook speech. And he also has a female cousin there. The role of women in this movie is pretty damn shameful, feminists. You want to get outraged about something? There's 2 women on Stallone's team who do absolutely nothing. They don't serve as a love interest even. Tell me what Jamie King did in this movie. Go watch it and see for yourself. The blonde chick. What did she do? What did the brunette chick do? How come they didn't get stabbed in the back? It wasn't the whole point of having some of these people so that they could turn on Stallone and crew, and 50 Cent for that matter? Because they didn't serve any damn purpose. Hell, for no damn reason, this isn't biographical. So, like, why do we have to have the Asian female cousin who's like, oh, hey, I wanted you to come and keep an eye on my brother, but so what? Shit. Well, tech firm guy, he gets captured by some dudes, some thugs in the street, along with Asian. And yeah, I'm sticking with Asian. So now they're in some prison they're calling Hades. They have a guy watching over them. It's just a voice. And the movie has now turned sci-fi. It was believable enough what they were doing in the original escape plan. Okay, the twist is that they're on a ship. All right. What do they have here? Well, they have some kind of rotating room. They're trying to figure out what this environment is. But they have like this mess hall collective area where they get to congregate. If you want to really keep people from escaping, how about you never let them get together? There's one way to do it. But no, bad guys got to keep making stupid mistakes. We have this guy who seems to be overseeing the whole joint. Isn't he on an Amazon series called like Botch or some shit, right? I think you may recognize him from character actor here and there, but I think it's like his one chance to be a lead, but he's in his 50s and shit. Seen him in an ad or something for some liquor a ways back. There's force fields in this prison. Yeah, straight up unexplained force fields. Like they make a honeycomb neon and glow across places, and they'll divide people up and say, hey, guess what? You have to fight. And here's the weird part to me. They're not fighting to the death. There's no money being made off of them. There's no cheering billionaires rooting on and betting. None of this shit. It's, okay, prisoner such and such versus this prisoner. The first one to get knocked down loses, and then the winner gets like 2 hours of sanctuary time where they go into a white room that then holograms up to give you some kind of view of mountains and resorts. And then they get to paint and draw in crayon. Give me a break. Oh, but they're going to use this to their advantage. Frankly, at some point here, I totally lost where this movie was going. I don't know exactly what all was happening here. These people are captured, so they're not dead. So there's supposed to be some advantage here. Oh, don't kill your enemy, but prison them so that they're missing. All right, well, dead's just as easy. In fact, you don't need to do this elaborate shit. How about that? But the tech firm guy, he's holed up here because, I don't know, they're going to torture him to get his patent ideas. Like, he's just going to tell them how things work. Doesn't it take more than one person to invent something good these days? Like, okay, you can have a decent invention 100 years ago by yourself, but it's not like Steve Jobs invented the iPhone by himself. And if you captured him, he'd tell you all about its tricks and secrets. Like, he couldn't do that, I guarantee you. Hell, I know because he had to farm everything out to Woz when he worked at Atari. Look it up. He didn't even make the games he credited for making that, like Breakout. Nope, that's Woz. Only he got paid more. He got paid more to get Woz to make the game for him than Woz made. That's how Steve Jobs works. He just makes sure that his name is on things. The effects in this movie, and I'm using the term movie here very loosely, are horrid. I watched this because it wasn't long ago that I watched Escape Plan. I think there might be some interest from viewers of my channel in whatever it is the old school action guys are doing now, and it's a sad state of affairs because you see these names heading straight to video. Stallone was in straight to video purgatory in the early 2000s, and he climbed out of it, and now he's back down there. Is there just something about, hey, here's some money for you. Can you sing and dance for us? Yeah, it'll be disgraceful, but just do it. Hell, it takes like 25 minutes for Stallone to show up. It takes an hour for Batista to show up. Batista just kind of walks around, does his own scene here and there, where he walks around and kind of like bullies some people, gets some kind of information, try to figure out where this jail is. I almost said safe, like it even matters. It's so damn stupid. And the effects are so first-year college student using After Effects. it's the kind of effect quality you would have expected in something straight to video 10 years back, or maybe even a little further. No effort to blow anything up. Just insert explosion, clip art here. Oh, it looks horrid, guys. Eventually, Stallone gets himself captured, because now that he's inside, he can help them bust out. He gets like some dentistry work so that he has like the communique system from Real Genius, Val Kilmer. He's like talking through an implant in his teeth to 50 Cent, while the two chicks on his team are kind of there because, I don't know, hiring quota. So they eventually get the drop on everybody, and it's revealed that whitest guy who was in the prison this whole time is actually the guy running the show. It's based on his algorithm, all this stuff, and it's not a huge surprise. You're thinking, okay, so they see some familiar faces in the prison. Why trust the guy that got fired from the team? He's going to be bitter and vengeful, right? Couldn't he be a part of the reason why these guys are there? And he designed a shit prison with force fields and, I shit you not, Star Wars droids serving as like medics. The money is not in the prison, fella. If you have force fields and droids, you make $1 trillion with your force fields and your droids. You don't go and say, hey, possibly smart, on the verge of being rich guy, give us the patent for this. But first, I need to invent the droids and the force field. Jesus Christ. I think at some point they shoot him, they shoot all the droids. Batista comes in there with like a shotgun, shoots some stuff. Everybody gets a gun, they chase him around a bit. And that's that. It's revealed that they were actually in the sewer of Georgia because they had to film in Georgia because of their amazing tax credits for any kind of entertainment production. And then there's like something about, oh hey, the guys that hired whitest guy, they're working on, they're still out there. And then Stallone's like, hey, I'm coming to get you. And they don't seem too disturbed. And that leads to the next one, which probably no way in hell I'm watching. What's really odd about this film, and it's been a few years since I've seen this done, a straight-to-video movie that has a TV ad campaign. And it talked about, hey, get it on DVD or order it on demand this day instead of, in theaters, right? And it's got these names up there, and it's like Batista, Stallone, yeah, okay. If you're a simpleton, you might be ready to pre-order that, right? That's the dying state of affairs in movies, guys. They only put the money in the biggest movies that are franchisable, that are known properties, that have people weaned on them. Star Wars, Marvel, DC. Everything else, oh, you want to make an action movie? This is what you got. Does this qualify for rating? Shit. Loosely. Escape Plan 2, Hades, 1.5 out of 4 stars.